Here we go, and we have spawning in the 1 o'clock position on Catalina as the purple Zerg player representing my insanity, winning game 1, but going down in game number 2. We have Autumn. And his opponent spawning as the blue Zerg player in the 9 o'clock position. Ladies and gentlemen, we have SortOf. And his smug mug. Love that. So let's see what these players come up with this game. Are we going to see any early pulls? Some seriously early pulls. Doesn't look like we're seeing it this game so far, guys. So no 9 pulls just yet. Looks like everything seems relatively safe. Gluhuffs coming out from both players. We have overlords passing each other. Do they see each other? Yeah, they see each other. So they know each other's spawning locations as well. And very, very aggressive attack. Not waiting for a lair, not wanting to get Glial Reconstitution, just wanting to get units! And lots of units! Out in that game number 2 for SortOf. Doing quite well there, it has to be said. And there is the spawning pool once again coming down from Autumn. And the hatchery once again coming out from SortOf to start this game number 3. So, here's the real question. At what point is it acceptable to do that much aggression here on Catalina? Well, it is a mirror matchup, so I guess the choice of map perhaps matters a little bit less. But this ramp isn't the biggest ramp in the world, guys. There's no alternative entrance into the main base, as you can see. And if you get a decent concave and possibly a spine crawler here, the defender's advantage on Catalina is actually quite substantial when you consider the other Zerg has to walk all the way across the map as well. So I feel like we're less likely to see the game end on very, very quick Zergling Banelings as long as the scouting's good from both sides. I think Mutalisks are just fun on Catalina, and I kind of just expect that to happen. But in game number 1, it ended up getting a little bit weird. Yes, it came down to the third base getting picked off of SortOf, but both players were comfortably able to get to 20 plus Mutalisks without really losing any. So as long as the players are comfortable doing that, I actually think that might happen on this map. Could we be seeing some roach busts? With this ramp here, I feel like it's a little more difficult than in the last game, but SortOf did manage to make it work in the last game. I honestly don't think so, is my gut feeling. It needs to be supported by an awful lot of speedlings if you want to do something like that. I wouldn't think we'd do it on roaches alone. It's just a much harder map to do it on because of the architecture of the map towards the natural expansion, at least not without Glial Reconstitution. So let's keep an eye on what they're going to be doing. So far, it's just Zergling speed. Undoubtedly, we'll be seeing some Baneling nests. If what earlier this series is anything to go by. And there we go, Baneling nest coming down for Autumn as well as a spine crawl. Now this spine crawl is just in an excellent position as far as this map is concerned. So I think that's going to be fine. And we have the reciprocal Baneling nest over here for SortOf. No spine crawler as of yet. But really, we haven't seen either player get super aggressive just on Zerglings and Banelings, desperately trying to kill off everything that they can just yet. They've always been effectively death pushes. So I'm a little bit unconvinced. We'll see if the spine crawler ends up being necessary, really, for either side. But really, both players are just playing it very, very safe in this series so far. So the Baneling nests are going to complete. We have 3 more gases being taken here for SortOf, and that to me is a massive indication that we're going to be going up to lair and grabbing those Mutalisks ASAP. We now also have all 4 gases being taken for Autumn as well, so it looks like we're going to be seeing something very, very similar to game number 1, where both players are going to be going up to those Mutalisks reasonably early. The gases have been scouted, by the way, by SortOf with that pair of Zerglings, so he basically knows, oh, hang on a second, that looks an awful lot like what I'm doing. And both players have sent links into each other's bases and spotted them as well. So, yeah, we're going to be seeing a Muta situation. I don't really see anyone desperately trying to change that. Both sides are still droning up. There are now 6 Zerglings coming out from Autumn. 6 isn't quite enough to make me go, oh yeah, he's definitely going to do something. But normally you just don't see these extra 6 out of the blue. Maybe he feels like he needs that many more defensive banelings, but that just feels like a large number. Is he going to be making any more? No, he's actually moving out across the map with them. It's just the 6 Zerglings and 2 banelings, though. He's actually going to go and continue to drone up after this. And now it's Sortov's turn. He's trying to do a bit of aggression as well, but it's going to be a lot more than 6 lings. He's gone up to 18 at the moment and counting, and actually both sides are now looking for the same kind of situation where they're trying to cancel each other's third bases. So I guess that makes sense. We've got defensive banelings coming out for both players, and I think they both know that third bases are coming down right now. Yes, we've scouted the third base. The Overlord is right there. Now, the distance between the natural expansion and third base is actually quite annoying, and needs to be careful with that baneling there, doing a good job of skirting back. There's a couple of links inside the mineral line, not quite able to kill off a single drone by the looks of things, and these do get cleaned up by SortOf. So Autumn not having as much luck yet this game as he did in the last. 44 versus 45 workers in favor of SortOf right now. He's got the larger army as well, 20 versus 13. The Spires are about to get done for both players, and now we look at how much gas they've got. They've both got about 900, so it looks like we're getting a relatively even mid-game here, guys. And this time with both players comfortably taking their third bases. We have a little bit of an attack coming out from SortOf, but basically both are looking to just get up to the Mutalisk as quickly as possible. And we've seen games this... hello. Really nicely done there. Moving those Zerglings back. Just juking and jiving away from those banelings is Autumn right now. But we've got 6 banelings going into the mineral line here. And can all of them get stopped? Here come 2 more exploding green things. Number of workers killed at the moment, 4 versus 0. Not the greatest amount, admittedly. And a lot of lings and banelings did actually die in that attack. So I'm not 100% certain how worth it they were. 9 Mutalisks versus 6 at the moment in favor of Autumn. But Autumn is currently supply blocked, thanks to the Mutas of SortOf picking off that Overlord. So, relatively even at the moment. Once you include the time spent moving out across the map, it becomes a little bit difficult. Autumn moving across now with his Mutalist, trying to pick off an Overlord now. He will be able to pick off at least one. And this is kind of the awkward point where both Zergs are going, well, hang on, how many Mutalists do you have? Hang on, how many Mutalists do you have as they fly towards each other? And it looks like Autumn is feeling pretty confident right now that he has more, but it's actually 10 versus 8 in SortOf's favor. So Autumn has to be right. It just goes to show how unbelievably difficult it is to tell at this stage of the game, and both sides just continuing to make more Mutalisks right now. Notice how in many of the games so far, guys, we've seen +1 attack come down for the Mutalisks, and we see +1 defense. We've got the +1 armor coming down here. And the reason for that is the bounce glaive mechanic of the Mutalisks. We have another potential engagement coming out in the middle of the map. Each of these bounce glaives from the Mutalisk, guys, does 1 damage. I believe it goes something along the lines of it's a third of the damage with the bounce glaive and then 1 damage with the third bounce. And because the armor allows you to take 1 less damage per bounce glaive, it's actually really, really effective. Because you're taking 1 less damage from the initial hit, another less damage from the bounce, and another less damage from the bottom bounce. So when you see Muta versus Muta fights, it's very, very common for Zergs to go for that +1 armor first. We've got a Zergling run by against the main base here of Autumn, actually doing a great amount of damage against SortOf, sorry. And we also have a simultaneous attack against the third base, but that just about gets cleaned up. Number of workers killed at the moment, it's actually 15 versus 4, so Autumn doing a great job right now, but the Mutas are chasing these guys back with needs the Spore Crawler to help out there, and of course 3 shots from the Spore Crawler kills a Mutalist, so he has to be very careful. SortOf, though, definitely has the Muta advantage at the moment. It's 21 versus 16, and he's going to be able to win a head-to-head engagement because both players have the same upgrades as far as the Flyers are concerned right now. And as long as he can get into a position where there isn't a Spore Crawler, SortOf is going to fancy his chances against a whole bunch of these Mutalisks, but he's finding very, very difficult to actually get into a position where he isn't shot up by those static defenses right now, because Autumn's invested quite a lot in that static D. Now we've got 52 versus 55 as far as the worker count is concerned. We now have some spore crawlers coming out in the main base of SortOf, but not quite as extensive as the network that Autumn has in his. We have additional Mutalisks coming down. We actually have a much, much faster +1 flyer attacks for SortOf compared to Autumn, so he definitely rules the skies right now. It's actually an equal number of Mutalisks, but in a matter of seconds he's going to have an entire upgrades advantage over nearly 30 Mutalisks compared to his opponent. Autumn, in the meantime, he's going for the double Evo chamber. He's got the infestation pit as well, so potentially looking to use infestors maybe to fungal a whole bunch of these Mutalisks, a very, very common theme, and a very devastating theme in the ZVZ. You keep those infestors a secret, a fungal comes out of nowhere, and all of a sudden 3 fungals later, it's GG. So that's entirely possible. SortOf moving down now, and trying to look for a position to attack. I'm taking a look and I'm thinking maybe the right hand side of this space could be great, but it looks like he's just waiting for more and more Mutalisks to join the flock right now. He's up to 34 Mutalisks versus 26, so, and he's also got the additional upgrade now as well, but he's not doing anything with it just yet. And in the meantime, we've got pathogen glands coming out from Autumn. So if nothing happens very soon, then Autumn's going to have the fungal growth on his side. That's going to make it so difficult for these mutants to clump up and engage. That's going to give Autumn the head-to-head advantage as far as the direct engagement is concerned. A 4th base is trying to get shut down. 2 Lings versus way more than 2 Lings. Says that way more than 2 Lings will end up winning. 40 Mutalisks versus 26 right now. Pathogen glands 2/3 of the way done. Are we going to see infestor production soon? If SortOf doesn't do damage with these soon, then I feel like his numbers advantage is not going to count for that much at all. I noticed that if he actually comes around this side with the Mutalisks, all the spore crawlers are out to the front. I wonder if he's going to do that. We've actually got a hidden expansion at the 6 o'clock position from Autumn. Interesting stuff indeed, not wanting his opponent to spot it. And with Overlord spread, I suppose it's a good idea to take that base very far ahead, very far away even from everything else. But it's as always, it's a little bit of a risk because it's so difficult to get a ground army over there, or any army to be honest, to defend against that. SortOf now at 194 supply versus 161. He's going up to 42 Mutalisks versus 26, so there's absolutely no way that Autumn can win a straight up fight. However, with these infestors, absolutely anything is possible. I feel like SortOf at the moment, he has that numbers advantage, but he doesn't have that spellcaster advantage, and that could be what he uses to leverage to try and win this particular game. A lot of Lings attacking each other out in the middle of the map right now. Looks like some of them, but not too many, are going to get trapped. The rest are going to end up being a run-by the looks of things. And they will be able to go towards the 4th base location, but I don't think they'll be able to get anything substantial done here. That group actually gets completely shut down on this ramp. And, well, he's got some left remaining at least, but Autumn is going to have to stay behind to stay alive, I think, at this point. And the infestors, they are looming with intent, more and more energy coming out there, and we've got pathogen glands coming out as well from SortOf, in addition to that evolution chamber. So upgrades at the moment, those early evolution chambers from Autumn mean that he's actually got that +1/+1 much earlier, and both sides have 1/1 flyer attacks, but only Autumn has the +1/+1 as far as melee upgrades are concerned. And it looks like this base has been found by SortOf as well. He's coming in with a bunch of Lings to basically deny it. I think these Lings should be enough. He's got a major attack going on the natural expansion as well. He decided now is the time with the Mutalisks. He's got 48 Mutalisks versus 38 right now. And here come the Mutalisks. Here come the Infestors. It's the Infestors that are going to make or break this game. We've got a simultaneous attack going into the main. A lot of Lings out from Autumn, and a lot of Lings out in the 4th base location as well. The Mutants are trying to dodge the infestors. Are we going to get a fungal growth? 1 fungal. Oh, that is a huge fungal growth right now. And SortOf has decided to engage a second fungal. Just misses it. In Autumn right now, he's at 37 versus 34 Mutalisks. He is able to chase SortOf out. What is the damage back at home for SortOf? It looks like his 4th base is going to go down. The 4th base has also, by the way, gone down for Autumn. He's retaking his 4th right now. This game is pretty darn close. 181 to 159 supply in favor of SortOf. And don't forget, the ground upgrades are in favor of Autumn still. And it's not all that clear. He's got some Lings on the ground as well, potentially to absorb those bounce glaive damage. And if he chooses to press his advantage here, he's got 46 versus 42. So he's got fewer Mutalisks than his opponent, but he still has 7 Infestors, and I feel like they could do such a world of difference right now. We've got a small Ling run by over here on the south side of SortOf. This game is going to become very dynamic very quickly. 2/2 upgrades as well on the Mutalisks coming in for Autumn, so that initial upgrade advantage from SortOf is starting to disappear. Will Autumn be able to take full advantage of that? I don't know at this point. ZVZ is so incredibly tight. A single small mistake from either side could just end up being the end of the game instantly. So it's just such a volatile matchup. You've got more and more lanes. Looks like they're just patrolling over here on the south side in case a new hidden expansion is taken. And we have a lot... Oh my god, that's a lot of Mutalisks moving out, guys. Wow. They're all twin brothers. They're all named Hank. I'm going to go with they're all named Hank. And that is a lot of them moving out here. The fourth base is going to force to get cancelled again. Absolutely no chance. In fact, doesn't even get cancelled. That gets put down straight away. Spore Crawler going down on what remains of the creep here as well, which I really like. And we've got some attacks going on at the third base. However, with this many queens, good transfuse there. These lings aren't going to be able to pick this base apart, unfortunately, for Autumn. So good defense there coming out of SortOf. We have a potential engagement out in the middle of the map. The Infestors are now off of creep and moving ominously towards the middle of the map. Here come the Mutalisks. He's trying to goad him into coming into some of those fungal growths, but he's not going to succeed at the moment. I tell you, 3 or 4 fungal growths, if these are clumped up, spells the end of the game for SortOf. He has to be so careful right now. The Infestors are burrowed. They're going to unburrow any second. Where are the fungal growths? We need to see them very soon. Here they are. Oh, God, from behind. That's a huge fungal coming out. Second one coming along as well, and a lot of them have gone down. A third fungal growth. Is it going to be enough, though? He's got Infestors of his own now. Counter fungals coming out. One more fungal growth from Autumn means that it looks like he's got the better concave on the Mutalisk out in the middle of the map. It's 18 versus 12. Now 16 versus 11 Mutalisks in Autumn's favor. He's not actually ahead by that much because those counter fungals halfway through the fight there from SortOf were actually amazing. And now we have a bunch of links from Autumn coming in versus SortOf. Is he going to be able to hold on? It's 132 to 119 supply. Autumn currently ahead, moving a lot of links into the natural expansion and moving a bunch into the main as well. SortOf is currently being stretched in a lot of directions, but Autumn not doing anything with his Mutalisks at the moment. He cleans up everything in the natural expansion. What is the main base looking like? It just about hanging on. Is he going to be able to get this queen? Good inject from the queen. Great micro there from SortOf, able to prevent that from going down as well, but he's got third base issues now as well. Here come all the links at the third base. This spine crawler was already damaged earlier on. That's going to go down straight away, and a lot of workers are going to go down at this third. This could end up being a problem. 59, 60 workers being killed so far and counting. Autumn looking like he's got the advantage in this game at the moment. He's now moving with the Mutalisk once more. Needs to be careful of that Spore Crawler out in the middle of the map. The third base has been completely cleaned up. The natural expansion is looking just a little bit bare in the cupboard, and the main base, well, that's going to be finished. SortOf has got some swarm hosts out, but I don't really know what they're going to be doing at this point. 129 to 121 supply, 81 to 72 army supply, 48 to 42 drones. This is very, very close. Autumn does have momentum on his side. Momentum does not equal an automatically won game, though. Couple of infested Terrans going down underneath Mutalisks, and we have another Muta versus Muta fight. 22 versus an 18 on the field right now, but it's in Autumn's favor. There is no upgrade advantage for either side, which means Autumn's Mutalisks are currently ruling the skies. I'm not sure SortOf can afford this kind of engagement. Autumn's, he's actually overrunning the fourth base. The number of Mutas are starting to dwindle for both sides, actually. Let's take a look at what that count is. It's actually 8 to 10 in favor of SortOf now. So those reinforcements have actually proved really, really good, but there's just not much from either side, and with the Mutalisks gone, the ground army is going to be a little bit too much. Autumn, ladies and gentlemen, goes 2-1 up in this best of 5 series, and he is now 1 game away from securing that cash prize and getting the first seed for Sweden in the NorCraft Cup finals.